So this weekend we're launching the Together in Hope initiative, when we're hoping that a wide range of different organisations and individuals from across the city of Leicester and the county of Leicestershire will come together to stand together in hope for the future of our city and our county. And I'm delighted that for this week's interview, I'm joined firstly by Nishan Canagarajah, who is the President and Vice-Chancellor of Leicester University, and also by Susan Whelan, who is the Chief Executive of Leicester City Football Club. Thank you both ever so much for agreeing to join me for this message today. And I'm delighted that the three of us are able to stand together to launch this initiative. So I wonder if I can start by asking you, as I've been doing in all these interviews, actually, just to say a little bit about how you are and how you've been coping during this period of lockdown.
Would you like me to kick off?
Do, please. Yeah, go for it. Yep.
On a personal level, it's been challenging. Keeping to routine, I think, has been, very much the order of the day. For some reason as well, I think we've all found that we're busier than ever. And that communication has been a really key part of how we've been functioning. I think on a broader basis, to take it away from the personal side, compassion, understanding, kindness are some of the most notable attributes and assets that we see within our community, and we've been trying to embrace that both internally and what we've been doing externally during this challenging time.
Thank you, Martyn. I'm delighted to be here as well, and it's a great opportunity to talk about this initiative. So the lockdown, as the word that has been used, is unprecedented. So it's, in my personal situation, obviously adjusting to this new way of working and living. But it has been very positive in the sense that I've been able to spend more time with the family, which I've been so busy with work, and I've been based in Leicester for most of the week. So that has been very positive. But at the same time, being a leader, also you carry a certain responsibility for the people that work for you or in your organization. So I'm always kind of thinking about them and how they are coping during this time. But I'm very pleased to say I'm well and coping the best I can. There are some tricky issues, as you can imagine. I've got 3 children. They're all working from home, and my wife is working from home. So there are times we think our bandwidth should be faster and should accommodate more data so we can all have seamless conversations or work. But so far, everything going well. Thank you very much. But obviously concerned about the national situation and particularly the local situation.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that you're doing well, and I think it's been such a varied experience, hasn't it, for so many different people, and that's part of why, obviously, we wanted to launch this initiative Together in Hope. Do you want to just say a little bit then about why we're doing this and what you hope it will achieve?
Well, I have to commend you for this initiative, really, because I think it's a fantastic idea, and we are really delighted to be part of it, and that I'm able to pledge the commitment of the club to the initiative. I think with all of the challenges that we've just spoken about, unity is really, really important, and Leicester has been a little bit unfortunate. We've had a couple of extra weeks of lockdown, and as a community, to be able to come together and hold hands effectively to get through it together is really important.
I think it's important that when you're in a crisis, that we also look forward to the future. And I think it is obviously important that we overcome the current crisis and come out well. But when we do come out, we want to be a strong community. So this Together in Hope is an opportunity to celebrate the good things that are happening in Leicester. Admittedly, there is a lot of focus on Leicester at the moment, and lots of media saying lots of different things, some good, some not so good. So this Together in Hope is an opportunity for us to focus our minds, the community, on some of the positive messages about Leicester, so that the rest of the community, the rest of the world knows there are good things happening in Leicester. And when we come out, we can build on that momentum. Otherwise, there is a danger. So, for example, everybody knows the King Richard III. They associate King Richard III with Leicester. They associate with the football club. What we don't want is in the future people associating Leicester with COVID. So the Together in Hope is about keeping that in front of our mind. The positives is something that should be people remember about Leicester and not just this short-term crisis.
Well, I'm certainly excited by the initiative and really grateful that already so many people have pledged to be a part of it, and local media as well as the sports clubs as well as the different universities across the area. We're hoping, of course, that many more people will be a part of it. I'm conscious, though, we pride ourselves in the diversity of Leicester. But I'm aware that some people have sort of almost been pointing the finger at Leicester and implying that it's because of the diversity of the city that we're in the situation we're in. I'm just wondering if you want to sort of comment on your feelings about the diversity of the city.
My association with the city is relatively recent. It's only going 10 years, but I've seen firsthand how the people of this city come together in the best of times and the worst of times. And I think that's what makes us very special and lucky as a city.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of the things I like about Leicester and why I'm feeling it's a nice place, nice university, is that I feel very welcome because it's such a diverse city and it's used to that diversity. So I think it is important we celebrate that during this time. And I think in history, it's always the case that when you're facing an unprecedented crisis, it either brings the best in you or the worst in you. And we want in Leicester the crisis to bring out the best in us, which is celebrating that diversity. Because it is important that we show to the rest of the community and country that we take pride in the diversity. And there are lots of information about the diversity might have been the reason why Leicester is facing this situation. But I think what also is important to recognize is this crisis has shone the light in not just in Leicester, but across the country. And because as we know, the number of people affected by ethnic minority people affected by COVID is disproportionately high. And there are lots of reasons for that, but it also allows us to look at whether there are particular reasons where there are certain communities in our country, in our city, are disadvantaged. So I think it is important we use the crisis to bring out the best in us, because I think it is very positive. We can learn from each other. We have a rich set of experiences to build on. But equally, look at whether there are some imbalances in our community that we need to pay attention to, so that if there is another crisis like this in the future, we don't have the same kind of experiences that we are facing right
now. I don't think we can attribute, these health challenges to diversity as such. I think the most wonderful thing about Leicester is that vibrancy and that diversity. And it's not just that it's the right thing to do to embrace diversity. I think I really genuinely believe it adds so much to the quality of life, both professionally and personally and socially, to be able to have that diversity. I think what's really important though is that we have to listen to each other, and that we share the things that are really common and those values that are common between us. And I think that's what makes Leicester really special, and that we should celebrate that and continue to celebrate it.
Well, I agree absolutely, and I think there are so many good stories that can be told about that diversity, and represented indeed by our football club. So thank you for all that you've been doing in that as well. And as I say, my hope is that a lot more people are going to get on board with this initiative, and in the coming weeks, we'll be able to tell a lot of really good stories about Leicester to the wider world, as well as learning the lessons from this experience. Well, thank you so much, Nishan, and my thanks to Susan as well for being part of this today. And obviously our great hope is that this initiative will gain something of a life of its own as we tell good stories about Leicester and Leicestershire, and then as we recommit to working together for a hopeful future. My thanks to you very much.